This is a test of the Boundary Park alert system. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself. Singing that in a mock Geordie accent because my mate Dave is in Northumberland. Hello, Dave. Put your phone down.
Why, aye. How are the lads?
Are you all right?
I'm not bad. It's great up here.
Is it?
It's really, really nice.
Have
just
you
full of Geordies,
have
unfortunately.
you seen Spender?
No.
No. Can you name three famous Geordies that aren't footballers? Go.
Jimmy Nail,
Yeah.
Tim Healy, and Kevin
Tim?
Waitley.
Who's Tim Healy? Who's Tim Healy?
I've just named the cast of Alvida's in there, mate. So.
All right. Oh yeah, I know what you mean now. Tim Healy is. I know what you
Tim
mean.
Healy looks like a little bulldog.
Yeah, married to that woman that's on the
Well,
telly.
no.
They split up.
Acrimonious split. But
Oh,
allegedly, she left a voicemail for her lover
right.
on his phone. And,
Right.
and he listened to it. Well, I shouldn't laugh really, but he was listening to her message to her lover
Yeah.
on set, and then he went on like a 2-week bender after that.
Right. Are you up on all the Geordie scandal?
Geordie scandal, yeah, love it. I'm like do you know that guy on
It's a new feature, isn't it? I mean,
Geordie
you should get
scandal.
the lads from Gateshead on for some Geordie scandal.
Geordie scandal in your
What's this show again, Dave?
It's the Laddix football phone-in.
That's right. Okay, just we got a bit Ant Deck. Someone said.
There you go. Yeah.
Who's who? Which is the one that used to drive when he was drunk? You're him.
You what? Oh, what with the big Ford? No, you've got a bigger head than me.
Yeah. What is that? Metaphorically speaking, or physically? You've got a bigger head than me. You're massive.
I haven't. I know I'm a big guy, but I haven't got a big Ford.
You've got a big head, though.
You've got a Ford.
It's under there.
But you're camp-like Deck, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm the camp one. You're the alcoholic.
Well, I don't know what you mean.
Anyway, we don't want to talk about football this week because it's depressing this week again, isn't it? You missed it.
Yeah.
You're on holiday. You're in Northumberland, as we've established.
Yeah, I missed the 5-1 battering.
Drubbing.
Drubbing.
Yeah. It was a proper beef pasting, Dave.
Good, but not in a good way. That beef paste brings delights to people's lives. Oh God, I would have thought it was a free hit. Oh, we could have got something out of it, but I said to a few people on Twitter, like, sum it up in 3 words, and I'll read a few out.
It's a family show, Dave.
Yeah, well,
so Adam's Family. You're singing that to the Wrexham fans. I like that, Johnny. It's funny.
So I said, then the performance in 3 words. Charlie Oldham says, "Can we boo?" No, you can't. We can. Don't care. Whitworth Yed, bag of shite.
Bag of shite, man.
Bag of shite. Someone just put unacceptable. So I don't think he got the 3 words. The 3-word thing. Mark Hughes, and he was called Mark Hughes, so he's a bit of unfortunate name.
Unfortunate name for an Oldham fan, isn't it?
Dave Butter says, "Bin them all."
Bin them all. Bin them all.
Ross says, sack Unsworth now.
I knew that was what I knew. It was gonna contain sack Unsworth from Ross. I knew that was going to be the case.
Bradley Knowles, absolute piss poor. So Paddy No Wheels has been quite positive. Bad beyond comprehension. Gazapalooza, sack him now. Wandering Fisherman, bunch of cowards. So there you go.
Well, that was what we were talking about just before we came on air. Was
before we came live.
I mean, let's just forget about actual ability just for a minute and the ability to play football and take Wrexham on. I mean, we showed I don't know what the difference in the team from Wrexham was on Saturday to what it was when they came to our place in the league, but we did go toe to toe with Wrexham when they came to our place, didn't we? We had a go and it was a close game, right? But this time, obviously, it wasn't in any stretch of the imagination. But we didn't make it difficult for them. We don't have a nasty side to us, apart from like Fondop going in and doing something stupid, getting sent off. That's not what being nasty is all about. Being nasty is about getting stuck into the other team and doing things and niggling them and doing upsetting the rhythm of the play and doing just enough that's just about on the right side of the law, or where you're just pushing it with the officials. We didn't do that. We didn't make it uncomfortable for them at all. It gets to the point where you've got Mullin just thinking, "Oh, I'm going to fucking have one from here and smack it in." You know what I mean? And just taking the mick and just sticking it in wherever and that's what's disappointing. And we just capitulated and just went under. And I think in fairness to that Wrexham were very good. But we well, this is the debate in it we can have tonight when people phone in. If people phone in, I think how we set up. It was a very, very rigid 5-3-2. So it was narrow for the final 2/3 of the pitch. When the wing backs did push on, there was the big gaps in behind which got exploited. Even things like dead balls, like they were just better at delivering them, and they were dangerous. They could have had about 3 goals before they scored the first one. It was just, it was all over the place, and we've tried to be very calm and not panic. But
the season's over for us now, isn't it? That's the thing. They're on the sun lounges, aren't they? Most of these players, we're 15th. We've is it 7 points, 9 points away from relegation zone. So I don't want to fall into like a false sense of security, but I think a lot of players are just either looking for a new club or resigned to the fact that they won't be playing for us next season, so they're not going to put the effort in. That's the situation we're in, because when you get the manager saying he's got 9 new targets already lined up for next season.
But there's still people in that, still lads in that squad playing for their players, isn't there? I mean, they're not. I mean, only, and 9 players. I don't know if you know this, Des, but that's not enough to fill a whole team. So you need.
As king of the laws, I do know that.
Right, okay, yeah.
But you can play with 7, so you're wrong again. But it's fine.
Okay.
But it's okay. It's okay. Because you just don't know the laws. It's fine.
I don't know. No. But obviously, we need the depths of the squad. But there was someone stood right behind me at Wrexham who, when we got in there just after 3 o'clock, was very, very drunk. Hello, Bradley.
Nah, it weren't me. That was it.
Oh, it was your twin, wasn't it?
Yeah, it weren't me. I weren't drunk at Wrexham. It was somebody else.
Yeah,
some handsome man.
Handsome devil. Yeah, you seem to sober up a bit once you got that pie into you. That kind of sorted you out a little bit.
No, I didn't have a pie. Wrexham is easily the worst ground to get food. And
it's awful.
Yeah, it's
piss
poor. I got a sausage roll. I dropped it on the floor though, so I had to pick it up and eat it. So, but it's a horrible away, and there's nothing there, is there?
It's really bad, isn't it? It's so badly organised as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man of the people there, Bradley, picking it up off the floor and just ate it. Man of the people.
When you had a few, but you can only get. What annoys me is you can only get out one way. So I walked down the stairs thinking, I can get out there, but then you got to go on the other side.
Yeah, it's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah,
is that if only that was the only thing to moan about after Saturday, but unfortunately, it wasn't, was it?
No, well, I didn't expect us to go there and win. They've not lost at home all season, but I expected the performance. I think we set the tone in the first 3 minutes, didn't we? Where Hudson, I don't have a clue what he was doing. It went a mile over the line looking for where we were. And
where we all went, that was over, didn't we? All of us.
Yeah, we also know. I mean, we just knew it would be a long, long afternoon. But when you what annoyed me the most is, like I said, we scored right on our time. And you think, right, we score on half time. How many teams do you score on half time? You come out second half, you're fighting. And it was just nothing. It was just the same again. He just brought on the same. We still stuck with that 5 at the back. And I thought, I didn't even know Shelton weren't even playing, because that's how much he doesn't stick out for me. But he played the other Mr. Anonymous, Chapman, next to him. He's just not a good player. We're just too nice in the centre midfield. We just want to pass it about and not put like a naughty tackling where you win the ball, it gets the crowd up. We're just too soft to let them, well, you can have it for a bit and just get to us until they get to the penalty spot. And we're just a very nice team and not nasty.
Not nasty enough. And you know what? I was mentioning this to Dave before, but at Chesterfield, the reason, like, the atmosphere was so fantastic, and but there was a belief, wasn't there? Like, they'd lost 5 games on the bounce. Like, we felt like everyone believed and that we were going to get something out of that game, and the whole away end was absolutely buzzing the whole game. It didn't stop. At Wrexham, it was different, wasn't it? Like, there was just that belief just wasn't there, was there? And the fans didn't have. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think we all knew that it was, going to be hard work, and we were right. It was.
Yeah, and obviously we got stuck 5-1, and we give up second half, but it just a bit. I don't even think we had a shot, did we? Apart from the goal, we didn't go forward. Did we even get it in the box?
No, I don't think we did. What header that was from Hogan, by the way, though. It was a beautiful header.
It was a great header, that, wasn't it?
You could see it curl in from where we were from behind. It was cracking. But like you said, Brad, like, the crowd got up for it then, and we, as they were going off the pitch, and they were because they walked right underneath us, don't they, for the tunnel?
Yeah.
And we were all like, "Come on," and giving it all that. And then, for me, I was saying, right, you've got to make some changes this half, because in terms of formation, because it wasn't working. The 5-3-2 just was not working, and we just got to go back into it. We had to have a goal at that point, because it was clear, I think, to everyone watching, that if we although we just got the goal back, we were lucky to get it. And if we went out with the same formation and did everything the same, we were going to get beat. Now, all he did was bring Sambu off and put Fondop on up top, and it effectively changed absolutely nothing. So when we get fans, as we do, like, calling for Runsworth all the time, I don't think that a tactical decision like that is enough of a reason not to get rid of him. But it is a bit frustrating, because it was obvious that nothing was really going to change.
Yeah. Like I said, we would have gone at him. We would have gone at him. Like, if you would have gone, like, we would have got beaten 5-1, and we would have gone at him and thought, right, we put everything into that game. You got right, fair enough. We've done something. Like, say, at half time at 2-1, he goes to a 4 at the back, and maybe goes 4-3-3, and puts Tollett out of the wing with Nuttall and Chapman on the other side or whatever. It would have been like, oh, right, he's gone for it. If something's changed, but it was just the same order. We just got absolutely mullered.
Yeah. I mean, for me, even like, if you want to play the wing backs, play Green instead of Sutton. And I know you'll say, oh, well, Sutton gives you that more of the defensive cover, but you've already got 5. You've got 5 at the back. You've got Sheeran though as well. So that's Sheeran's job to cover the fullback. So at least have some kind of threat and some kind of pace going forward with Green, because
it's tough on that.
Well, go on.
If you play Green at wing back, we would have got slaughtered even more.
Well, we'd have got beaten more than 5-1.
Yeah, because he's got no defensive capabilities. He's not that sort of player. At least with Sutton, he is a defender. I think you.
But we got beat 5-1. So the
I
argument.
know that.
I know, yeah. So,
if he started him and put Green at wing back, and we got beat 5-1 anyway, it's all right in hindsight. I think that's a bit unfair. But I do agree with you in terms of Sutton as a wing back. He just doesn't work because he hasn't got any pace, and I've seen Milk turn quicker. You know what I mean? He's not fast enough, is he? He's a good player, good footballer.
I think he's done really well. Like, in fairness to him, he's been asked to play at right back, he's asked to play at wing back, and he's a centre half. So I'm not knocking the lad. It's just
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I think I was at Wealdstone as well, where in the second half they made changes and they brought some pace down that side of Sutton, and the absolute target, he got absolutely murdered. He's not. I don't want to crucify the lad because he's one of our own, and he is a good player, but he's not a right back. He's not a right wing back. He needs to be in the centre. What I've been doing, I know you mentioned about relegation, but before coming on, but I don't think I think we need a point. That's it. and Yeovil aren't looking like they're going to pick up any points. I wouldn't now, from now to the end of the season, I wouldn't play any of the loan players. Chapman, Clark, Sambu, who else we got a loan? Abraham. Just take them out the squad, don't play them. Put Sutton at centre half. Do we even have a right back?
Jordan Clark in it.
Well, yeah, Clark's fit. Put him there, on there, and obviously put that young lad Forshaw, get him up front because that Sambu is hopeless.
He scored 23 and 23 for the reserves, hasn't he? Forshaw now.
Yeah, and we're still undecided if we're going to give him a contract. I just don't understand that. How can you
He's
bang
a unit
that many
as well.
goals in?
He's a big lad. He's a big lad.
Unsworth was saying at the fans forum, he said that he's like an old school number 9 who runs at him and wins headers and stuff like that. I think it sounds like somebody we need.
It's probably why I don't like him.
It goes to show, how fragile the squad is as well, doesn't it? Because we 1 minute you're looking at thinking we've got plenty of forwards. You've got Fondop, not all, Alex Reed, what's it like, Abrams and stuff like that. And then you get an injury, you get a suspension, straight away you're down to and if it had been, I was going to say one of our better strikers, but not exactly banging them, is he? So we do need numbers. We need to have 4 or 5 decent striking options next season. So everyone's going to be chasing the goals next season, aren't they? In the division, the strikers and that. So yeah, I mean, if the young lad can do something. The thing is, young lads are fearless, aren't they? You get them and stick them on, like you said, Brad. At the end of the season, you give some of a game, and imagine you getting a first league goal at Boundary Park in a home win against Bromley or Altrincham or something like that. It'd be fantastic.
Exactly. I always remember when Joe Coleman, he was on the bench for quite a bit. I think we was going to release him that summer, and then we had the lad from Blackburn on loan. Was he Keane? I think he was called the keeper, and he threw one of his own net. He pretended to be injured, and then they threw Joe Coleman on, and then from then on he stayed in the team, and then we ended up getting a fee for him. This could happen with any of the youth. Just you might as well. It's the end of the season. Play him, get him some minutes in men's football, and it's either they might come good, he might start banging a couple of goals in, and just play him. I don't think we've got anything to lose. And Kuto as well, another one. Play him. He's been a bit part player. He played 10, 15. He came on against Wrexham and he played 10, 15 minutes. The game was gone. It was pointless. Start him. Give him some actual game time and start using our own players. I think in the forum he mentioned about Atkinson, a centre midfielder who's getting a 3-year deal. And another lad I can't remember the name of. Get him in the squad, get him in around there. It's better than having a lone player like Chapman or Abraham there who's just not going to play next season.
One point I wanted to pick up with you, Bradley. I think you sent it for next season. The first 10 games are going to be vital for Unsworth. Do you think that's going to be a real option or a real scenario if he doesn't get the results in the first 10 games? Do you think it will be time for the board to decide?
Yeah, I 100%. I'm not a fan. I've made it clear I'm not a fan of Unsworth, but the board want to stick with him, so we've got to back what they're saying. He's got, like I said, he's got 10 games I think next season, and I was speaking to people like Dave Hull and a few others at Wealdstone down there, saying that we don't expect to be in the playoffs. We want to be comfortable in the playoffs. You top, second, third all season. So we're like Chesterfield, who's been like that all season. I know Notts County and Wrexham have been massively ahead of them. They've always been around third or fourth. We need to be in there. We don't want to be scraping in the playoffs. We need to be in there, and a good start is key, because how many times we look at a table and we're like, oh, we're near the bottom again. And that's when you start seeing the crowd. We'll potentially start seeing the crowds drop off next season, where you think, oh, we're fighting another relegation battle. What's the point? We're in the National League. We've got to get something next season where if he doesn't start right, it's not good. He would have to go, but.
It's setting the expectations though, Brad, isn't it? In terms of what's a good start, what's an acceptable start. We know what a terrible start is because we're used to that, aren't we? We've had, and in all reality, we should start the season a lot better this coming season, next season, than we have done for a while, because we've had a settled management team, settled squad, better budget, better infrastructure, the whole season to sort a lot of stuff out. So this next season, there should be. You don't win the league or secure your playoff place in the first 10 games of the season. We know that. So we've got to have a decent enough start. What I don't want to see is everyone who's already who's made their minds up about uns without, jumping on everybody's back after the first couple of games if we've not got the results that we want. Because I think it's just finding that balance. You know what I mean? I think
I actually think we're going to have a decent start, because where said it on Wednesday, he's already got the targets, and I think they've already spoken to players. It's been I think you need to have a settled squad. You need to get your targets in early and get them in for pre-season. How many years have we been where we've waited around?
Yeah,
and said, oh, we get dregs. So we get the dregs who can't find a club.
5 signings on the opening day. One of them
exactly. Yeah, one season we didn't even have a keeper once until like the last day. We get dregs.
It won't be like that this time, will it? We know that. So that in itself should be better, shouldn't it? As a result.
Yeah, 100%. I think, like I say, with first 10 games with there or thereabouts in the playoffs, then we can start to push on, and then we might make a couple of signings and get us up. But if we, like I said, bottom in the relegation zone after 10 games or around that area, then I think that would be the time to say, like, you've had enough time there. So you probably would have been here a year by 10 games, and look, it's not working. We need somewhere else. I think that'd be fair enough.
Do you think fitness will play a big part for Unsworth's pre-season? Because when he came in, he said they just weren't fit. And I think the pre-season that they had with Sheridan, due to the fact that all the grass had been not maintained at Chapel Road and all the dry spell, they had to use like a Avro, didn't they, for 3 or 4 weeks because they had no facilities. So they weren't fit, were they, at all? They lost 6 weeks of pre-season, didn't they?
The thing is, Dave, is if David Unsworth and John Ebrell and Franny Jeffers and the team that he's got there, if they want to be top coaches managing at a much higher level, their preparation has to be meticulous, doesn't it? The training has to be meticulous. Everything that they do has to be, leagues above where we are now. And I think that's how they're approaching it. I've got no reason to think otherwise. They've been at the Premier League, Everton, or a top Premier League team, one of the biggest clubs in the country, in the top 10, easy. And they've been through that with, all this time. So they've got to have very, very high professional standards. And I think the club now has very high professional standards. So I just think we've got to give him the time. It might not be finishing the season very well. And it's frustrating for us all because we'd all like to see it better. But, and I'm starting to get a bit kind of fed up of it now this season. I just kind of I need a break. You know what I mean?
I've had enough.
I think there's an amongst the fan base. I feel a bit worn out with it,
It's been a long season, and it's draining. It's going to be go. So actually, we finish in April this year, so by the time it's August, everyone will be buzzing again. So it's extra, it feels like an extra month. So
we will.
By middle of May, we'll all be missing it.
Of course, we will. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll have the signings coming through, and we'll start to see an idea of what the squad's going to look like next season. And like you said, Dave, I reckon the training and all that, the fitness. I can't imagine us seeing some of the states that we saw with the likes of Fondop at Bamber Bridge last season.
You look like me.
Yeah,
proper Derby on him, and he looked like 2 stone, heavier. And he's he looked absolutely. He came on for 10 minutes, and he was blowing out of his arse.
Yeah, there's a few last season who you look at, you thought these are never going to be fit enough to complete 90 minutes, and some of them still aren't. Like I said, Fondop, he's blowing out his arse now at 10, 15 minutes, and it's like, oh God! But we do need to be fitter. We need to be sharper. We need to hit the ground running. That's the main thing. Hit the ground running, hit it hard, and let's hopefully we can obviously take off for once.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's bring Ibby in because we've not got many callers tonight. So let's bring Ibby into the chat. How are you doing, Ibby?
Evening, guys. You okay?
Yeah.
Mate, you okay?
So here's what you put here on the thing, Ibby. Unsworth out now. Fans forum was an insult. No questions allowed on the floor. They don't get it. The people running the club. Take it away, Ibby.
Yeah, shambolic. I tell you the truth that shouldn't even be deserved to be given a chance next season. Really, it was an insult result on the weekend against Wrexham. Few days before the game, he put a piece out in the Oldham Times saying, "Judge me after the game." Well, how many times have you done that where we've ended up losing heavily? It's time for you to go, and I made it clear to Frank and Luke at the fans forum. I wasn't there, but I went down 1 hour before because I had something to give Frank and Luke and the family something. And I had a chat, but Frank's made it clear that Unsworth is staying. After all, Frank, fair dues, that's your decision. But if the fans don't renew the season tickets, then you know where the blame lies. And I'm very disappointed with David Unsworth and Darren Royal. Fair enough, Darren Royal has saved the club by seeking investment. But come on, guys, enough is enough. This season has not been the greatest.
I would have to jump in there because like some of the stuff he's saying there is, and I don't get what you're saying. Like obviously the fans forum, every question got asked out. I thought it was going to be a bit crap where they vetted the questions and stuff like that. But my question was a direct question. Any question which you wanted to ask, either via email or on the night, got asked, and I don't think there was anybody on there. And the way they did it was, I think it was perfect. Like there was nothing really from the audience on there. They answered everything. Everything was clear. I'm not blaming the club and the board from where we're at the moment. They're still learning and they're prepared to back us. And no, I wouldn't say nothing to say bad about them at the moment.
I mean, none of us have got a crystal ball, right? None of the people that wanted Sheridan gone were expecting, they all thought, well, Sheridan's gone, we'll get somebody else in and it'll all be a lot better. What if, hypothetically speaking, David Unsworth wins 7 of his first 10 games next season and we have an absolute flyer and the players come out looking sharp and fit, well organized? What if? And what if the board have held their nerve, saved the club a fortune by not sacking another manager, bringing in, that's the way that they have to look at it. And they've made an investment in a man and in a coaching team that they have to give some time to. And I just think, when you look at, Dave, you texted me the other day about Graham Potter getting the sack, trigger happy orders at football clubs at Chelsea. You can see what's going to happen at Chelsea. He's another one of these owners that thinks that you have to, if you invest in somebody, you have to have a bit of faith in them and you have to give them a bit of time. Otherwise, it won't work.
Do you know what this season's been? It's been a reality check of where, unfortunately, our club deserves to be this season. And all these years of mismanagement and everything like that, and bad ownership and poor decisions, for me, it's been a massive reality check. I know I said at the start of the season, we'll go up, and I was wrong. But next season, hopefully, the light is at the end of the tunnel if Unsworth can have a season or a summer to prepare his players, his signings, and have his way in the transfer market. Because I just want us to bloody win something or go up or have some success, and hopefully now this season can be just put to bed in the next couple of weeks. You know what I mean? And we can start preparing. And I think hopefully the board have got that strategy long term, haven't they, to get Oldham winning games and winning football matches in it and bringing support to the town. I think.
I mean, I've gone from being someone who was like, sack the board, get the owner out and all that, to now being like, be patient. And, the reason for that is like, I see some people who talk out their ass on Twitter about us having our noses in the trough and all that kind of stuff. That Philip White is always going on. He's clueless. That fella, I don't know his ass from his elbow, but the thing is,
call him Phil. Call him Phil.
Yeah, he won't. He's a big tart. So there's like all this stuff. Like we've got to give people time and to do their jobs. We can't, like, it doesn't matter if, like, we have to put things into context, and we have to say, like, people that are wanting people to be sacked and changed and stuff all the time, it's never done us any good. What there's no prerequisite for it being a success for us. It's only ever ended badly. And when it's been like that, so why not try something different? Why not have a bit of faith in and just back them and manage our expectations? We've had to be patient because we're now in the 5th division. We might have to be a bit more patient, but there's no point just jumping down every single person's throat and every single decision, and we're just going to have to be a little bit patient. If we're still really struggling in 3 years, 5 years, then there's obviously something fundamentally wrong in what's being done. But I think after one season, there's nothing to really mourn about. The club's in a better position than it has been for donkeys, so we should embrace that.
Ibby, so what is it about Unsworth that you don't like? What is it that I know Brad said he's not a fan of Unsworth. What is it for you that Unsworth has done wrong, or what is his mantra for the football team that you don't like?
First thing is, when Chez was here as the manager, he was in a way upstairs watching the games, and I didn't like that taste because at the end of the day, Chez is a legend, and I felt sorry for Chez at that time because he was getting stabbed in the back while Unsworth were upstairs watching games. And the second thing is, he might be a nice chap, but he comes out with a lot of rubbish, and I've told Luke that. And the other thing is, he's never had a relationship with the fans. I know
he won't have, will he, if you sack him after 2 minutes? What do you expect? You have to give him some time. He comes out with less rubbish than plenty of our fans do. People call up here and talk worse shite than he does, Ibby.
Yeah, I know you like the guy, but come on, he's had a full backing, and it's been rubbish this season. And I feel that next season we're going to struggle, no matter what people think about me or what I'm trying to say. I don't give a monkeys, really.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Obviously you do give a monkeys because you're calling in every week.
Yeah, exactly. We all care.
And I just want a proper manager at the helm, because I don't want to go in next season with the same guy doing the same mistakes. And
who do you want in then? Who would you want in?
Brad, what I want is a proper interview process with candidates. Give them an opportunity, because I know a lot of people who would want this job, and I want it done in the right way, not like somebody in the wings waiting to come in. It's not right.
But that's what happens in the Premier League. That's what happens at every level.
Well, that's the Premier League. We're in non-league, Dave.
I'm aware of where we are. I do get that, but it's like people are lined up beforehand, and if someone. David Unsworth came with great pedigree before he came here. His CV was probably the best that you could ever have of any manager within the National League. His experience, his playing style, his record for the under-23s at Everton. So
I fully agree with that. Yeah, he's had a good career, but come on, he's so lucky to be given this opportunity by two people, and that's Joe Royal and Darren.
I don't know, I think you're being a bit unfair there. I think you're looking at the results that he's achieved, and he's still learning on the job. But I think you just need to give him just have that little bit more patience. I know he doesn't do himself any favours, because he's not. I think he's quite a personable guy when you meet him one-on-one, but when you see him after a game and he's judged me on the Wrexham game, judged me on this, judged me on that, he does put himself on a pedestal, because I think that's the way he is. He's got this sort of edge to him. And some people like it, some people don't. Warnock had an edge to him. Sharp had an edge to him. Joe Royal didn't really have that edge to him. Lee Johnson had a bit of an edge. He can't. I think he doesn't do himself any favours, admittedly, and the relationship with the fans. Yeah, and he's come out and said that he's not that sort of manager. He's not a Jurgen Klopp who starts pumping his fist and giving it all the big one. So
he does do that though, Dave. Every time I see him
when we win,
when we win. I know.
But to be fair, the fans are right. It is a lot better than what it was. I think after Notts County on Boxing Day, I think that was rock bottom with him. And I'd probably say all of us on here would agree that he should have probably gone then, or he could have gone.
He could have most definitely. Agreed.
You would have said, right, fair enough, he's got to go. But things have started to improve. There's a little bit of more lenience there. I'm not saying it's fully there, but I've seen chance now with David Huns with Blue White Army at games. Certainly did it at Wilston and stuff like that. And like we were saying before, he has got plans for the summer. There's no point ripping up the plans now to start again with somebody else who might want to go in a different direction. He's got to now take it forward and say, look, this is my plans, I'm going to own it, and next season he's got to deliver, and that's the way it's got to be.
Of course, and it's and he knows that as much as anybody, and he wants it to work as much as anybody. He wants this to work. Everybody wants it to work. I just, I'm not going to back somebody to the hill if they're doing a terrible job. I think it's too early to say he's doing a terrible job. That's my stance on it. What I'm saying is give him time, give him the summer, give him, next season to see how it's going. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that sniping. This is what I'm saying to everybody who's doing it. It's counterproductive. It doesn't do any good to anybody. It gives us a debate to talk about, but like, I don't know. For me, it's just counterproductive.
But one question is, if things go bad, I spoke with Luke about this. I said if we go in next season and we're not doing very well, who makes the call? He said, all of us make the call. I said, to me, that's not right, because the club belongs to your dad. Your dad should be calling these shots without even getting...
I completely disagree with that.
Well, first of all, factually incorrect. The club actually belongs to Luke and Sue more than it does Frank. So but the reason you have a board is because you listen to all the different opinions and you vote on it, so that one person doesn't make a decision. It's actually a worse situation, it'd be, when you've got that one person making the decisions, because they're not accountable. Our previous board was made up of 3 people. Adam Morley, Mohammed, and Abdallah, and it was basically 1 or 2 of them that called. Well, it was 2 of them that called the shots, because Abdallah and Moore did whatever they said went. So that's not what we want. We've now got a board of people that are able to look at all these things from lots of different reasons and make a more balanced decision. So we don't want one person making the decisions. That's autocratic, and that is not the best.
I know where you're coming from, boys.
It's totalitarian as well. It's totalitarian in terms of...
He seems to be a very nice bloke, Luke.
Luke's a lovely fella, yeah. They're all very, very personable. Most of them are all very personable, anyway. Every board needs its bad guy, don't they? I suppose, don't they? You know what I mean? But and that's fine. What's important about a board is its makeup. It's the fact that you have different personalities on it. You have people who are straight talking. You have people who are very direct. You have people who are quiet, who take it all in. You have people with different skills and experience. And the idea is that the blend of that works. And we've got a blend of people on the board now. It's so much richer and more diverse and experienced than the previous board. Will this board make mistakes? Of course it will. It will make mistakes. Will it learn as it's going along? I should imagine it will. Will it do things differently when it makes mistakes? I should imagine it will. What we need to do as fans is not be waiting for people and the club, the board, to be making mistakes and then jumping down the necks like the first opportunity, as if we all don't make mistakes ourselves, as if we are all perfect. We have to look at ourselves, and that's what pisses me off about some of our fans. The way that they go on, you think that they've never made a mistake in their life and they don't get things wrong. Well, you do, and so do the club, and so do the board, and people deserve a chance. And I think it's the same for David Unsworth. He deserves a chance. And that's all I've been saying all season. Let's see, we've got a Stockport County perspective here, and we've got Andy waiting in the wings. We're going to bring him in now. So we'll say goodbye to you, Bradley. Thanks for calling in, mate.
No worries.
Take care.
Mate. All the best, mate.
And thanks for getting in touch, Jimmy. Again, take care of yourself. All right, mate.
Bye.
See ya. Look, Stockport County, Scarpagara, they watch regularly. Hello, chaps. Damned if you stick, damned if you twist. If DU gets the club, they stick with him until things really go downhill. Looks from the outside, you're making slow progress. So does that mean slow progress is better than no progress, or slower progress than you would expect us to be making? So maybe you can give us another comment there.
Yeah, a bit more substance to the comment. Yeah. be nice. I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
Peter Norbury could go to a feminist rally and leave with his shirt ironed.
Wow.
I tell you what,
So
I'd say it wouldn't be Arlene who was ironing his shirt. That's for sure.
Well,
right, let's bring Andy in. Hello, Andy.
Evening, lads. How are you?
How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. I'm all right. I think with the debate you were just having with Ibby and with Brad, I think most people have accepted now, haven't they, that we're pot committed with David Unsworth. You know, he's been manager since around October, November time. You know, there's all the players that we've signed already. They're all the players that are hopefully in the pipeline to be signed, and you know he's going to be our manager at the start of next season, and he's going to be our manager for however many games next season. Hopefully, it'll be the whole season. We go up as champions, or we go up through the playoffs. So you know it's a redundant debate for me, but I do think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Unsworth and on the team at the start of next season. You know, there's been a lot of talk tonight on Twitter, on message boards about how this season's done, and everyone's starting to look forward already. You know, it's difficult to anticipate just quite how well we're going to do next season because, you know, all the variables are yet to fall into place. We don't know who's going to be in the division. We don't know who's going to be in our squad. We've got little bits of information. You know, there's the talk about a top 6 budget. You know, there's the hopefully good work that's been done this year. So we're all anticipating that we're going to be a playoff contending team next season at the very worst. So the first 10 games next season are going to be really, really important. And I think the pressure that Unsworth's been under this season, and that, you know, Matt, yourself, Dave, and Andy and others have pushed back against. Yeah, if we start badly next season, I don't think the pressure that's been felt this season will be anything in comparison to what we'll get next season. So I think there has to be a certain amount of fingers crossed that we start well next season. But I think there's good reason to think that will happen with the squad we've already got, a manager that's been in place for a while, and hopefully the quality signings that we're going to bring in.
I tell you what, I think it's a fantastic point you've made there, Andy. I think you put them across really eloquently as well. But I think,
look, I mean, sorry. Considering Unsworth's record, he deserves to be questioned. I think all managers are going to be questioned, right? I just think going on about it every single week when we know the situation, like you said, Andy, we know he's going to be here, right? We know that next season, and he deserves to be here next season, in my opinion, because he needs to be given time to do a job. All football managers are under pressure. And they know that better than anybody. They know that their job's on the line. So I can't imagine that he's doing anything but grafting his balls off from now until the start of next season to get this squad in tip-top shape. And I'm sure that in his head, next season, he's going to want to win the league. He's not going to start next season with any other aspirations of winning that league and getting out of this division. And it doesn't matter if you've got a top 6 budget or whatever. They've seen in this division, especially if Notts County and Wrexham get a shot out of the way, we should be a team that is well managed and is well put together. Then you could be having a go. So it is all on him next season. It is on them, the board, and on Unsworth. And if the board, if it is a bad start next season, they're going to have to hold the nerve because they'll be under a lot of pressure, and they're back their horse. And if they're going to stick with it, it comes a point with every manager. We'll be having this phone-ins again with the old stick or twist thing again. But I just hope, for everybody's sake, because I don't want to see him fail. I don't want to see the board fail. I don't want to see it fail. That it comes good, but we'll only find that out when the season kicks off.
I think I'd just like to add to your point, Andy, that the first 10 games are going to be vital. As an Oldham fan, and the unrealistic expectations of the fan base that we have, I think the first 4 games are going to be the main the mainstay for the fans. If he loses 2 out of the first 4, I think they'll be calling for his head. They're calling for his head anyway. So
well, that's it.
He's either wrong or very wrong, isn't he? I think that's the problem. And if he gets a signing wrong, it's just going to be carnage if he loses his first 2, 3, 4 games. It's going to be horrendous. So
yeah, we've got. I reckon it's probably Ross here. Stay on this trajectory, and you'll be pushing for a top 10 or for playoffs next season. There'll be some of us within the fan base that think that that's okay, and there'll be some of us that think that that's a failure. Which side of the coin would you fall on, Andy?
I don't think top 10 is good enough. I think if we're in the top 10, and showing signs of improvement up to Christmas, that's fine. But we've got to be in and around it early doors at the start of next season, I think. But I think there are signs for optimism. I think Unsworth's improved as a manager, even in the short time while he's at us, been with us rather. He came across really badly in interviews at first, when he was blaming the squad. I hated that. I thought that was just really poor management. He's become much more personable. He's starting to establish a relationship. That's only one part of it, but also I think what you see on the pitch in terms of he's used different formations. Obviously, no one had a good day no one had a good day at Wrexham. Let's move on from that. But you look at Barnet. I think it was the Barnet game where he made the double substitution. It was the Barnet game, double substitution at half time. Brings on Fondop and Reed and wins a game that we didn't look like we were going to win. So he is capable of bold changes, and actually the majority of the players that have come in since he's been manager have improved the team that we have. I mean, Shelton's coming in for some stick, and I must admit he's been pretty anonymous in the games that I've watched so far, but I think he still deserves time. But I think we need to have 4 games at the start of next season is way too early. 10 games is arguably too early.
I agree, but I'm just saying the unrealistic expectations. Right. The first 4 games, it's going to be DEFCON 1 on the phone, and if we lose our first 4 games, it's going to be an absolute nightmare.
You guys have talked about it before, and I certainly think this, that we're turning an oil tank around here, aren't we? And everyone knows that doesn't happen quickly. I'm reading Pat Nevin's biography at the moment, which is a fantastic read, great book, a great player, and a great pundit and commentator. And he talks about the winning mentality that they had at Celtic, and the way they took that into every game they played, but more than every game they played, every minute that they played. And we've had a losing mentality, haven't we, for years? And although there are a few players left from last season, unfortunately, and others have talked about this, it's an aura, it's a feeling, it's a mentality that affects our club and affects our town. And this season, we're starting to see that challenge. Frank and the takeover, it is a breath of fresh air. And we've had some good days this season, not as many as we would have liked. But we have to play a part in that as fans as well.
Totally.
I absolutely never want to hear the Premier League "we fucked it up" song ever again.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it. It's like that was the past. This is a new era. We've got our club back, the ground and the club reunited. We've bottomed out. We're on the way up. Can we actually start sort of thinking about the fact that we're a big fish in a small pond? But I mean, actually, sorry, I'm ranting a bit, but something else that pisses me off slightly is the Southern Leisure Centre mentality. I think we've got to bin that. We have to start showing respect to those football clubs until we have a Glasgow Celtic style winning mentality where we're winning 100 points in a season. Right now, clubs like Bromley, they were better set up than us at the start of this season, and they smashed us 3-0 at their place. And I don't know, they might do it again at Boundary Park. And
well,
I
look,
think
we know that
we
know that our owner and our board were there admiring the setup and
Their
admiring
setup,
what they've got, and because of we went into last season worse off in terms of our setup and our infrastructure than other teams in the National League. But the fact that our stadium is bigger and our history is better and our fan base is bigger, we had nothing else to work from, and that's what people, despite everything, still don't understand. That's what we've been going on about it for years. That our club was everything that was good about it was being squeezed and drained and sold and fought over and everything, and it was down to the bare bones. And we had the most unpopular person in the history of the club still involved in there because he was able to weasel his way back in. We had, like a brother, two brothers. It was just awful. And we've had to start again. So to think that we should be anywhere above where we are now is crazy. And next season, we are a big chunk further up the progression ladder than we were before. And we'll keep going in that direction now. But for fans to just be looking for things to mourn about, the glasses are full or half empty all the time, when there's so much to be grateful for. It just, you've explained it yourself there, Andy. It's very frustrating, but it's part of the mentality of the football club and part of the mentality of the fan base and of the town. And it's something that we need to try and shift. Yeah,
it's the culture of the fan base. It's poison sometimes.
But it's not everybody in the fan base, is it? I mean,
I'm just saying.
I know, but there's
a chunk and a subculture within certain aspects of the fan base who are poisonous and venomous, and all they do is criticise, mourn, berate, and just be really, really obnoxious about where we were 30, 40 years ago. It's not healthy. We need to change it. And that's what we try and do, But then we get taught, like they say, eating from the trough, or you're in bed with Darren Royal, you're in bed with bloody David Unsworth. But we're not
much room if you're in bed with David Unsworth and Darren Royal, mate.
Yeah. Well,
but I think it has to be acknowledged that and we've got fantastic. We do on. The majority of our fans are amazing, and the numbers that turn out. When I go to midweek to places like Barnet and Wealdstone,
I've gone. Sorry,
I actually feel. I've come from Hemel Hempstead, and it's dead easy for me. And there's lads and lasses there that they're heading back to Oldham, and they're not going to get home till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That's commitment. But in terms of culture, in terms of any culture, to change it comes from leadership. And I think if you look at our club now with the Rothwells, with Darren Royal, perhaps with David Unsworth, there is leadership there that is positive and is changing the culture of our club after rotten ownership for donkey's years.
Can I just say that one thing that we've not said about, we haven't been on since we bought the ground. We now own, a responsible person with a sustainable view of the club owns the ground, and they've done everything. They bought the ground, little Wembley, investing in the squad, signing the best players up to new contracts. All right, Fondop's questionable due to the fact that he keeps on getting sent off. But these players that are doing well are now being signed for better terms. And we've been a club that sells or lets them go on a free, or I think the last player that we really got any money for a player who was going out of contract was Jose Baxter, and he insisted on signing a contract because Paul Dickoff gave him a chance. We sold him on to Sheffield United for 100 grand, but he could have gone on a free. But you look at like Porter, Chris Taylor, all these players have gone. But now we're getting these better ownership models in terms of signing up new contracts and the sustainability of the club. It's just so much more. It's just so much more betting.
We've got reasonable people in charge of the club, right? Reasonable people who are prepared. They talk about having your nose in the trough and all that nonsense, right? They're reasonable people who are prepared to sit down and talk to OASF, to sit down and talk to the fans, to sit down in front of a room full of people. Not like the last lot, not like the previous, right, they did it at Brighton Cricket Club, and then they didn't get the response they wanted, and then that was it. They threw the toys out and wouldn't do it again, and all that kind of stuff. They want to sit down with the sycophants and all that kind of stuff. But we've got some reasonable people now. We can work with people that we can work with, and then you've got people in the fan base that are shouting at us to, wanting to try and disrupt and somehow make that relationship, or that it's not a relationship yet, but a potential relationship, more difficult and more fragile. We've got to try and nurture these things. We need the board and the owners of the club, and they need us, and so we need to try and work together and be patient and build something that we can all say that we were part of and that we can all be proud of, and that's what we're trying to do.
You're going to have a broad back in that respect, though, Matt, aren't you? There are always people that are going to hold those views, and as your fan representatives have that responsibility to hold the ownership of the club to account. And I think you and others have done an admirable job of that. But there'll always be people that are willing to say that that people that represent us get too close to management and ownership. But in respect of our current ownership, point us in the direction of where they are not accountable for decisions taken on behalf of Oldham Athletic that are not in the best interests of the club. I'm struggling.
And if you judge people on their history, I hope people will realize that if I feel that I need to say something, I'll say something. If I feel that somebody's I never put an individual above the club. None of us get anything for free, right? It costs us far more to do what we do than it does. We all have season tickets. We don't get anything for free. We don't ask for anything for free, right? So just because the people who say things about nose in the trough, the people who used to have their nose in the trough or got some kind of benefit from it, we're not doing it for that reason. So I will only listen to people when they've got an ounce of credibility, or at least they show that they actually have some kind of idea about what's going on. So I'm not bothered about that kind of stuff. But we just have to. Look, yeah, Matt is impartial. I am completely impartial. I want what's best for the club. I'm not on an individual's side, and I try to be balanced all the time. I don't say I always get things right, but at least I always try and be honest. And I don't try and hide. I put myself out there, and whatever I have to say, I'll say it to anyone to their face. So at least I can stand by I can stand by my actions. And there's plenty of other people out there that are big and hard on social media and then soft as shit when you meet them in real life. So for me, that's and anyone who buys a club probably has to be a bit mental, because they're not exactly money making machines, are they? But
it's like doing a phone in, isn't it, Matt?
About doing a phone in, yeah, exactly. But they have to be admired for taking that stance. Yeah, even Abdallah and Mohammed, they give it a go. Ultimately, we had to make a decision and we had to call it before they absolutely killed it. But initially, fair play to them for giving it a go, and that was my opinion at the time. It's just that they proved themselves to be inept, and that was on them, not on us.
And how?
Yeah, exactly. So, look, we're gonna have to see what happens, aren't we? So. We're nearing the hour point. Thanks for your call, Andy. It's been really good, mate.
Cheers.
Yeah, brilliant.
What's the next game you're getting to before the end of the season?
Maidenhead at home, April the 15th.
Living the dream, my friend. Living the dream.
Absolutely.
We'll see you in the fans bar, mate, and you can buy us loads of beer.
I hope so. I'll look out for you.
All right, take it easy, Andy.
Cheers, lads.
Yeah, right. This is a good point, though. Not sure about the referee.
Yeah,
no, me neither, Rob. Not sure about him at all. But he is the king of the laws, and you have to respect
King of the laws, Rob Walker. He's king of the snide comments. But hey.
Hey, well, listen. Hey, these go live on the 10th of April, Dave.
Lovely cheeky little back heel coming in from Barlow. There's a chance. And that's it. Tommy Wright, horse of space. In comes the ball. There's Roger Palmer. And that's it. And one always looks for Roger Palmer in these situations.
juicer.
Suit juicer.
I
Would you
think
like
we'll
a red one, sir?
Oh,
Or
I'd
would you
like
like
a
a
red
blue
one.
one?
And a blue one, sir.
Oh, and a blue one. Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
they're absolutely gorgeous. They're going to look really, really smart. There's going to be loads
Are
of
they
people wearing
colourless,
them.
sir? Have they have no collars and got a nice Willie Lee's Brewery on the front, sir?
All right, Dave. That'll
Sorry.
do. You're
Sorry,
making me
sir.
feel funny. And also,
Aroused.
they're going to be $39.99 for an adult shirt and $34.99 for a kid's shirt or whatever. So they're going to be, and they're going to be available at oasf.co.uk. And obviously, if you've not got your tickets for Live, Loud and Beefy, then what are you doing?
Don't miss this amazing one-off live event at the Barbecue Bus in Hollywood on the 30th of April. It's me, the podcast team, doing a live show. We're going to have live music. We're going to have special guests on this stage. Whether or not this is going to be involved, I'm not too sure yet. But it's going to be an amazing event. It's going to be celebrating the last season that we've had in the National League. The club has survived. We've got new owners. It's a new era for the club. And we're going to have our first live event. So get yourself a ticket. Go to oafcpodcast.co.uk/shop and you can buy a ticket there. They're £15. It's going to be a really fun event. Doors open at 6 o'clock. It's going to go on until 10 o'clock at night. It's going to be a really good fun event on the bank holiday. So get yourself down to the Old School Barbecue Bus for the Boundary Park Alert System, live, loud and beefy. Can't get off.
Yeah, so that should be good fun.
How
Dave.
many tickets have we sold, Matt? Because I believe there's only a few left.
There's
isn't
not
there?
that many left, Dave. Now there's not that many
Well,
left. So
shall we announce our second special guest?
yeah, if we've got one.
Well, we have. For my painstakingly numerous phone calls. Trump's
Okay.
out. Tried ringing Trump. It's not happening due to the court case.
Indictment.
Whatever. You say potato, you say indictment.
Who's the guest?
It's Lee Duxbury.
Hey, excellent. Quality.
So there we go.
So that's guest number 2.
Mm.
Have you got more in the wings, Dave? Have you?
I'm really trying hard, but
Hey,
due
look.
to the person responsible for booking the event on a bank holiday Sunday,
Yeah.
it's becoming rather difficult to secure guests.
Listen, Dave, we're going to have so much fun anyway. It don't matter.
But
there
we've got
were-
plenty of games, plenty of prizes to be won.
Yeah, loads of prizes and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be quality. Right, I think that'll do then, won't it, David? How long are you at
Yes,
Centre
Matthew.
Parks for now?
I'm not in Centre Parks.
I thought you were at Centre
Time's
Parks.
hard. No, I was at Centre Parks last year. This year, I'm in
Ah.
Northumberland in a nice Tory-filled lodge / chalet
Oh god!
/ static caravan.
Right, it's surrounded by like other families and stuff.
No, I've been put on the posh bit away from
Right.
the peasants.
You're on
apart
this-
from Tukey.
You're the segregated wing.
Yes, like
Yeah.
all the pedos. Yeah.
Oh god!
Sorry.
Why did you have to go there, Dave?
Well, you said segregated wing. You said it, not me.
Segregated. Yeah. Okay. Well, on that bombshell.
I'm not a pedo, by the way.
No, but you are a weirdo. So,
Oh.
right. Thanks for getting in touch, everybody. We'll see you on Monday for the podcast. We're Monday. We've got 2 games this weekend, don't we? I'll be at
We have.
Scunthorpe on Monday. Will I have a chance to record a pod? Will we have a chance to record a pod and have it out on
We-
Tuesday, maybe? Or should we just do the phone in on Wednesday? I think we'll sod the podcast.
Sod the
I think we'll
pod.
sod the pod. Yeah, well, I might as well just.
Ooh.
I mean, there's not much point, is there? We'll just do have a phone in on Wednesday.
Yeah,
think
and
that's
if
what we'll
anyone
do.
wants to buy
Catch
me
up on
a
the 2
beer
games.
at Scunthorpe, then I'm all
Then
fine with
don't, because Dave's off
Yeah,
the
do
bottle.
it.
He's talking about
that. Oh, back on the bottle. Yeah.
back on the bottle. Right, that'll do. Hang on, we've got comments coming in here. Cheers, lads. Cheers. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for getting in touch.
But as we've started the show
I've forgotten how to end the show.
But before you do that, we should end in a Geordie tone before we go, shall we? Like, because I'm in Northumberland.
Ha 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 ha.
Aha, 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 aha.
The Boundary Park Alert System is hosted and produced weekly by Matt Dean, Andy Halliwell and Dave Bradley. A huge thank you goes to those people who already subscribe to the podcast. We appreciate you all, and if you'd like to help us out financially, please visit oafcpodcast.co.uk and click support or find the link in the show notes. It's only $2.99 a month to subscribe, but if you'd rather make a one-off donation, please visit buymeacoffee.com/OAFC podcast or click the link on our website. Please follow and interact with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok at OAFC Podcast, and subscribe to youtube.com/@OAFC Podcast, where you will find the Latics Football Phone-In with myself and Dave Bradley live every Wednesday from 8:30 p.m. We'd like to thank Arlene Finnegan for writing our excellent weekly blog, which we encourage you to read on our website every Saturday morning. And thanks also goes to Paul Prendergast for providing us with all the Latics Mind questions. The title music for the show is by Manchester DJ and producer Starion, and for more information visit bandcamp.com/Red Laser Records. You can help change the game by listening to us on the Fan Hub app along with all major podcast platforms. Please like, subscribe and review the pod and help us climb the rankings to get more listeners wherever you listen. Thank you for listening, and if you'd like to be a guest or contribute to the show in any way, we'd love to hear from you. See you next week.